You're such an asshole.
So, as we ever go forever forth into the realm of economics and the economic landscape changes, guys in particular want to be somewhat aware of, like, okay, well, what do I do for a living? And no more than 20 short years ago, a short period of human history, it was college, 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 college. Which was only true 50 years ago. Wasn't worth going to college. So you had two, now up to three generations of young people today, men as well, wasting their time in college. And it is amazing to me just how glacially slow America and the rest of the world, the public, has been to wake up as to just how bad college is. We figured out smoking was bad for us, right? We figured that out. We figured out, hey, don't go out in the sun without sunscreen, you get skin cancer. Like, we're a little bit more. Hell, vaping. How long did it take vaping? I'm like, well, that replaced smoking. That's good. Oh my God, vaping is horrible. It's been 10 seconds that it's been a thing. I'm sure there's some kind of drawback to vaping. There's nothing is 100% clean for the Karens. Nothing's good enough for the Karens. They're always going to complain. But okay, so they gave up hard liquor and now they're drinking light beer. That's a step in the right. Oh no, vaping is just as bad. Oh God, ladies, let us have a vice. I'm like, didn't you see the devastation? Didn't you see all the poor? Didn't you see the millennial generation? Didn't you see the student loan balance? Didn't you see all the poor people? Don't you see all the tent city people with college degrees? Should maybe we warn people about just how worthless college is? No, just slow. There is general progress. If you look at student enrollment, especially among men are getting smart. They're smarter than girls in this regard. They're not enrollment is going down for both men and women. The enrollments for the liberal arts and social sciences is going down faster than the overall rate of that. And then enrollment in STEM is going up for both men and women. There's hope. There's little silver lines, but they're little. Just this slow little fractional bump. Just like, what? By now with the internet, shouldn't we all be painfully aware that these colleges and these degrees are worthless? Shouldn't the parents and even the teachers have gotta? It's not Hank Azaria. That's a voice actor. There was some CNN Zarik. He was a Middle Eastern guy. Still is. Hasn't changed. Who wrote a book about liberal arts degrees are still worth it. How's that age in there, pal? You fucking whore and shill. Here's your media for you. This schmuck over here. You should still go to college for the liberalized idiot actually defended. I forget his name. But shouldn't we be running away from this like the plague? Just little Mike, just pulling the teeth. Like, come on, you stubborn donkey. Let's go. But I think men are a little bit more attuned to this reality, and the response has been kind of threefold. One, they're just dropping out and becoming NEETs or NILFs, not in the labor force. And then NEET is not in education, employment, or training. So they're just checking out totally. Then they're not going to college. They might do something else or just work. A lot of boys are just not going. They're working. That's fine. They're staying at home working. They have higher net worth than all you college. I'm not kidding. I got all these clients, all these, like, I didn't know what to do with college, so I didn't go. And I decided to work instead. Now I'm 20 and I got $40,000 in savings and 401k or whatever. I got a car that's paid off and no debt. I'm like, so you're literally in better financial shape than the average 40-year-old in America because you didn't go to college. I can't. Cancer, AIDS, the plague, meteor from outer space, college. How much more? It should be more devastating. Godzilla. What do you want? College. I ain't that smart because I have a college degree. You're special needs, aren't you? And the other thing was the trades. They're like, how much are electricians paying? How much are plumbers paying? And maybe not so much that, but maybe they saw their old man who has his MBA. Oh, how much to repair the toilet? $700. Why, that's my wife's spending money, even though she has a job. Oh, that's her student loans I'm bailing her out of for her master's in social work. To repair the toilet, well, you could do it yourself if you looked it up on YouTube. Don't worry, buddy, I got plenty of work. Whoa, that involves lifting things and dealing with poo. I graduated from Harvard with my MBA. I'm a Wharton graduate. See these hands? They've never had a callus on them. And the internet gods, speaking of people not doing their job, the internet gods have decided to shit the bed here. Hang on. Let's wait. There we go. We're back now. Young men are looking like, how much do they pay? I don't have to go to college. And dad paid how much? Is that even my dad? I don't look like anything like, well. But here's what's flummoxing you young boys. And this isn't my team. My team were several classes advanced. We're several miles down the road. But the average young man is like, but how do I get the girls up? Because no matter how, just as frustrated and flabbergasted as I am getting the dipshit American young boys and girls to stop majoring in college, I'm just as equally flabbergasted and exhausted as trying to get men not pursue women, but to understand what that pursuit costs them and to do so intelligently so it doesn't cost them the rest of their life and the money and resources and all that other stuff. Where I'm saying, like, look, you can't sacrifice your life and opportunities to chase girls. A lot of men are acutely aware that if they are a plumber or they are an electrician or if they are a carpenter or just a frame or a roofer, what's going to happen? Girls are going to go, he's just a carpenter. But then I don't get the girls up. And so what men also then look at is not oftentimes bad alternatives. Girls who are so much savvy know that, I want to become an engineer to make money to get the girls. Oh my God, the number of, how do I get the girls up? I have my master's degree in computer science. Yes, you do, but you didn't go to the gym. That's not, never mind. Some guys go and become investment bankers. You try to be sales bro. You try and you live this lifestyle. You don't make the money. You're not going to get in. So a minor fractional few. Become a doctor. Oh my God, you waste your life going to college for that. All to get the girls. And meanwhile, there are tremendous opportunities to live a much better life and still get the girls at an equal measure without crippling yourself financially. One, being a minimalist, so you don't need that much damn money. You can be free. But two, the trades, or a truck driver, or a merchant marine, or a longshoreman, or a lineman. Oh, I should have linked. I'll link to it. I'm going to link to it down below. Hang on. Thor Gumroad lineman. Thor's lineman to become a lineman. God, I said you're going to start around 100,000. Then all the guys, no, dude, you're starting at 200, 250, depending on where you are and how many hours you work. I don't know if you guys want to make doctor money without having to go to 13 years of college and medical school. But the taint, the what's it called? The reputation is, but that won't get me the girls up. And they're not wrong. You're not wrong. You go and go watch any one of those Harlequin romance shows or the Hallmark movie channel. And it's, if you don't know what those are, they're chick flicks. It's normal librarian, boring, average looking girl has two rich, powerful, hot men chasing after them. And just like we got like, oh yeah, the naughty nurse, the French maid, the flight attendant, the naughty teacher, those are more sexual fantasies. Girls have love fantasies that the surgeon, investment banking astronaut will fight for her love against the executive, lawyer, fighter pilot, boat captain. And oh yeah, just these two guys decide to want to have your average fucking ass. You're not anything. You're not an engineer. No, you're a marketing spill. Whatever. You got a dream job. Go watch it. It's a fascinating. You want to see what women are like? There you go. There it is. I get to do a job I really like, and it's fun. And then two super rich billionaires duke it out for me. Yeah. And we're the bad guys. Like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having a redhead in a nurse outfit and a French maid, another one in a French maid. I'll come out and have a threesome. Oh, but we're pigs for that. Actually, matter of fact, it's more likely you're going to get a threesome with that than these girls are going to have, surgeon, banking, cattle rancher, oil baron, astronaut fight, whoever the fuck the other guy would be. Tradesmen are not represented. You're not going to find a tradesman. You're not going to find a carpenter. You're not going to find a truck driver. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field, is not ever going to star in any one of these movies and films. But because sex and family and maybe love, but let's just be honest with you boys, it's sex, is so important. You will actually pass up on outstanding employment opportunities just because that status, that job title won't get you to girls. And so you're just like, well, I'll go do something else. Meanwhile, for 18 months of training and work, you could be making 120. If you're sober and showing up on time and not having sex with your sister like they do in Wyoming and South Dakota or most of American tradesmen, you could probably do $200 an hour, $300 an hour, or run a shop and make millions. And so the paradox guys like, well, especially now, and go get my book, link below, A World Without Men. I did tradesmen as a percentage of the population. The amount of data I had to go and pull, holy cow. It's impressive. It's some of my best, I wouldn't say economics work, but data analysis work. I found the data sources where you had total amount of tradesmen and the U.S. population. I did it as a percentage of the population. It's down about 30% from, it's either 1988 or 1978. I forget which year was the start date. We're down a third. And that's obviously having an effect on prices. We already printed off a lot more. I'm talking beyond the money supply inflation. I'm talking, this is supply and demand. There's been a consistent demand for auto repair. We just had a guy talk about waiting for his roof to get repaired. Joker talked about having his lights repaired on his car. And you have to wait a month, 2 months, 3 months. We don't have the part. Is because there's less and less tradesmen and regular blue-collar productive work or workers out there as a percentage of the population. And so parts are not as common. The amount of labor to install the parts and fix the car, whatever, build you a house is not as common. And so demand prices, wages have gone up a lot. It's almost a guarantee. If you start, I don't know how early you could start. Let's say you start when you're 17 in high school. You get some skills and some trades and all that, and you become a licensed plumber, electrician, lineman. You're making way more by the age of 21, probably even 20. You can't even drink, and you're making more than your average engineering graduate. So then the guys are like, oh, that'd be really great, but is it going to get me the girls? Will the girls ever sleep with the plumber? Ew, poo, gross, you grody. And the answer to that is not yet. Not yet. Because I don't know where this is going to go. So allow me to kind of meander in a couple possible outcomes and scenarios. A lot of you guys are going to start making the choice. Like, look, this isn't what I'm going to go make. How much money? Fine. I have a life outside of women. I got to go and make some good money and have ease and stable income and get good sleep and have good money. I strongly recommend checking out a website called Dumbass 'Cause 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 and they're going to go and make the money. They don't want to go to college. They hate college more than I guess they want to chase girls. And they're going to make kind of the reason and logical decision to go and become a tradesman. And they're going to make a lot of money. They're going to do very well. And I think they're going to be surprised that their success being a tradesman was about the same as their brother or their counterpart and went and became an accountant. I think that's going to start to bear out that women's demand or interest in men is not being driven necessarily by your job title. It's more being driven by larger macro socioeconomic factors. Women just aren't that interested in guys that much. Will women always want the investment banker? Yes. Will they want the surgeon? Yes. Will they want the fighter pilot? Yes. But they always have it and they always will. But between a civil engineer and a lineman, I don't think there's going to be that much difference. I really going forward. So men might as well go and become the tradesman and make your money now. That's in short, medium term. However, as the shortage of tradesmen continues to worsen and prices go up, and it confluences with another trend, and that is we're not forming families anymore, or less so. So each men and women have to have their own houses or apartments or condos or living structures. And whether you own or rent, it don't matter because things are going to break down. The toilet's going to crack and it's going to need to be repaired. And you already start seeing these articles. Sometimes these girls go on TikTok and cry for attention because they're damseling. I can't afford the plumber. Do you know how easy it is to replace a toilet? It's not that hard. Take off 4 bolts, take the thing off, put it in the big bag, take off the old thing with gloves and a face mask, obviously. Get the wax ring, put the new wax ring on, put the new toilet, hook it up. There you go. Oh, it's so complicated. Girls will pay $300, $400 for that and the cost of the toilet. Slowly, though, but surely, as we have more and more homeowners, the criticalness, the vitalness, the criticality of this, the importance, there we go, of tradesmen is going to be more and more prevalent, made people to realize, and are like, wow, these guys are really, they fixed the thing. And it cost a lot of money. And I think even though a plumber or a tradesman or electrician or a carpenter or a truck driver is not, or a mechanic is not all that sexy, I think as men and men too, because you're going to be there like, I got my degree in social work or journalism. You're like, how much does it cost to repair my car? Repair especially is going to beat it into people's head, both men and women younger, that these skilled people, these tradesmen are the ones making some real money because they're going to have to pay these guys. And as more and more people get poor because you can't afford living because we print off more money and we don't have real men and women making real things like housing and transportation, which are your 2 largest expenses outside of taxes, life is going to get more and more difficult, almost to the point girls might give up the shiny, pretty pony of an investment banking boyfriend or whatever, and maybe get a little bit more street smart. I think also some men will get over their whiny, navel-gazing, boo-hoo-hoo, life is bad, and I got social anxiety disorder and a bunch of other made-up mental illnesses that really, I don't have. I say, yeah, I think I should go into the Merchant Marines and go, because I think they're going to get sick and tired of it. I think guys are going to get sick and tired of being down and depressed and there'll always be the permanent incel, welfare collecting, soy boy class. Let's just call them Democrat men. I'll cover it all. It's funny because it's true. You'll always have your Democrat boys with you. But I think some guys are going to get a little more practical going into construction, going into plumbing. And there's a little bit of hope, What was that? I forget the website. Enrollment, both men and women. Hats off to you, ladies. Although not the majority of you, obviously, but there's just the latest data they had. There was an uptick in enrollment in trade school. So I think both men and women, but more so men, are, forget this, we're going to go make some money because it makes some sense. Ladies even too. So that's good. It's going to provide employment opportunity, but it's going to become more common knowledge. Like as college goes down, I think trades are going to go up in terms of public perception because it's reality. I don't know how you pay $2,000 for a repair bill on your car, and then you sit there with your student loan debt and your sociology degree making $15 an hour as a barista. I mean, it's going to become undeniable. The real issue is if women will then say, wait a minute, hang on a second. That investment banker over there, I know he's assistant vice president and he's got a shiny suit and some nice hair, but he got indicted again. His car got repossessed. You could, by the way, I could do a whole other video about how you girls couldn't find a rich man if he was standing right in front of you. You girls do not know how to assess wealth. You really don't. You go after guys who fake it. You go after guys with debt. All right. I don't think women will ever. They'll always go for it. Oh, he's shiny. He has a nice car. They'll always go for that. But I think they might start to not view the tradesmen as bad. I think as time goes on and things get more tight financially, the idea that you're going to go to your little sorority party or you're going to go to your little nail salon group and the girls are going to be like, after Becky's third banker husband went to jail or filed for bankruptcy and she's like, oh, your husband makes how much? $250. He makes $500,000 as an electrician. Oh, and here's the other thing with trades. If you girls want to think more than one step ahead, tradesmen, well, okay, let me take this back. Qualifier here. Tradesmen have the capacity to have very nice houses that are very good in shape and very quality. You can have a very nice house with the right tradesman. Fortunately, tradesmen are a bunch of drug addict, alcoholic, sister fucker motherfuckers, and they don't do a good job. So I just know every woman out there who's been married to a trade, he does it's like, yeah, because he didn't avail himself of his skill. So there might be this new generation of tradesmen that come in that, I don't know, do the job and they're sober. But if you got the right tradesman, he's going to wire the house. Usually trades. I know a guy, an electrician. Not only is he an electrician, but he does all this. I helped him and a buddy. We went out and helped the guy with the project. This guy's a great carpenter on top of it. When we finished the project, beautiful. And the lady of the house was very happy us boys were there, but we couldn't have done it without the electrician who knew all this other carpentry. I mean, it would have come out crap. I'm just a banker. I don't know shit. Cut here. All right. Precisely. You got it. All right. How do I turn this on again? You could have a very nice house and in a good financial position of equity. I don't care to bore you girls with, finance talk, but there's the house that your banker boyfriend has with debt. And then there's the house that your, whatever roofer husband has with equity. Finance class for another day. It's called capital structure. Don't mean to bore you. It's called leverage. I never got sick of when we'd have to foreclose on somebody. Something would happen in the news where Mr. Big Swinging Dick, fake rich guy, didn't make it. And we just finally foreclosed on him. The wife had no clue he wasn't rich at all. She had no difference between the difference between cash and debt spending. Little house of cards come crashing down. And Becky, the suburbanite trophy wife soccer mom. Your life is destroyed, sweetheart. You got to go work as a tradesman. Make good money, they do. I think as time goes on, I think this is the low point for the reputation of tradesmen. I think it's only going to go up from here. Even South Park was pointing it out. I think we've reached bottom tradesmen as opposed to peak tradesmen. And that's going to have a trending upward. It will not be this generation. You're still not going to get over the status desire of women to have themselves. This is my investment banker boyfriend. I tell you, he's an investment banker. I tell you, he's a surgeon. They're still going for that. And a fair amount of, well, all, I would say, of the female population, dating population, that's what they've been trained and conditioned on. But I think starting younger Zoomers and younger going forward, I think they're just so toned out and tuned out. It really is the 35-year-old who's now okay. Now I'm a careerist. Now I need surgeon boyfriend. Oh, you're qualified to date. Now I watch the movies. It says, where's the oil baron you're supposed to fight for my love and honor? You're just a standalone surgeon. Where's my oil baron you guys are supposed to fight over me? So that's ensconced in cemented psychology and entitlement and expectation. That's that world. But the new bloods, the new brains, better said, with a different and open to a different philosophy, it's going to, like I said, not this generation. It's going to be at least 20 years. But 20 years from now, I think women will start to date. Oh my God, Cappy's being optimistic. Look at this, I'm being optimistic. I think when I'm old and dead, and the Kurt guys listening to me now, your testosterone will have dropped because you're also old. You're like, I don't care anymore. But for the younger men, I would say for younger men anyway, don't make any decisions based on women. You don't have time for that. Go become a tradesman. Go become a truck driver. Go join the military. Do what you want to do. Make the money. Do what's best and practical for you long term. Because I don't think there's that much of a. Look at Thor. Thor does well with women, and he was a lineman. Of course, he was jacked, but he still is. You don't have the time to be. What would women think? Would women go on a date with me with this career choice? No, dude. You got to do the best career choice for you possible, and go do that. But going forward, yes, girls will always prefer the shiny pony. They're always going to be like, ooh, pretty shiny pony ex-frat boy who has a Mercedes. Yeah, but it's at 12.7%, and he took out 100%. It's leased. It's leased. You don't even own it. What's a lease? That's only for apartments. Tee-hee. There's always going to be that. But more long-term, especially if all of a sudden you're like, look, think of it this way. What's the sexiest thing right now to young millennials and old Zoomer women right now? What's the one thing they can't have? What they all make fun. They voted for a ton of free money and then low interest rates. I'm like, oh, wonder what's going to happen. What do they all say? Oh, we can't afford that. A house. Dude, if you're TJ Martinell or my young Navy agent in the field, he's 25, 26. He has a cat. I bought a house outright. If you're in your 20s at all, even your 30s, and you own a house, you're looking pretty good. And I'm not saying women are just, money grubbing hewers. I'm not saying that. It's like, wow, he's got a house. That's an impressive achievement and a feat. And it also happens to, women are sexually attracted to financial stability and wealth. Okay, fine. There's that too. But it's wow, you got a house. That's impressive. Not even from a financial perspective, but that is possible. Probably more possible than a lot of young people realize if you go into the trades or truck driving or whatever else, where you can actually afford a house or build a little bit of your own house. And I'm not saying that you should buy a house. By the way, boys, you don't do anything for the girls. You should get a house because you want to have a house and it makes sense for your living situation at that time, right? If you want to attract girls, just Lisa Beamer, I don't know. Lie. Take pictures on Instagram, you posing next to a Ferrari in the Ferrari dealership. Okay. But when it comes to your financial planning and life planning, you do what's best for you. And then the ancillary benefits of, I make $125 an hour as a plumber. And I have a house that's bought and paid for in a decent neighborhood. Those things over the long term, 20 years from now, I think is what's good. You will get, I think so. I think the girls will. It happened a little bit. And let me give you a little bit more insight. The oil boom the guys went out to the Bakken oil fields and they made bank. Girls did start to notice. Now, admittedly, they're kind of more blue collar girls and the trailer park girls, but they did start. You're never going to get your Beckys and Trishas in L.A. or Miami or Vegas, like to go. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. All right. But the decent quality gals, use that term loosely, the ones who aren't living on Rodeo Drive and expect the fanciest and you better, the ones that they don't make TV shows about. Going forward, I think that it will be in your benefit financially, career-wise, life plan-wise, as well as romantically to go into the trades. So will women ever date a plumber or sleep with a tradesman? Not today, no. Yes, I know. I have a husband and he's the electrician and I sleep with him. I know, I'm just general terms. Are they going to be, ooh, boy, plumbers? They're going to watch this video. Yeah, you know what? He's right. Now I'm physically attracted to plumbers. No, they're not. They're not. Are they going to do it next year? No, they will not. But a generation of young gals that weren't totally conditioned into whatever the hell your average 30-something woman is conditioned into now. These gals are going to be like, hey, he's got a job. I mean, think about the low. Do you have a job? Do you not live at home? Tell me more. Well, a lot of gals like, well, he's only a co-pilot in the air, at Delta. He's not a captain. There's going to be a lot of gals like, wait, you got your own place and a car that's paid off? And okay, I think you'll slowly start to stand out from the rest of the people. So link below, A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. Please go into the trades. The book goes into many details as to why. Well, that'd be another thing. Like down the road, inevitably women will be. When things get bad enough and it comes to having running water, women are like, oh, yeah, I think I find Bobby the plumber really attractive now because all the investment bankers will be dead because there's not enough food. Oh, yeah, how's your mergers and acquisition skills? Yeah, that'll work well when there's no food. I'm sure that's great. Hey, get on the slave camp. Why? Because I have a gun and I'm a gunsmith. That's why. All right, let's go to the super chats and have ourselves a treat. Hang on. Boom. Come on, computer. What the hell's going on? Just kidding. You got. All right, nonstop Dre, $2. Ew, girls, ew, boring. He works with his hand and is debt free. You have to just. This is 2-3 generations of women are already off the cliff like lemmings. You have to realize they're already lemmings that have ran off the cliff. They just haven't hit the water yet. They're falling. They're not coming back. So don't worry. Alex Bayer, here he is. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. Calluses, I leave my calluses from kettlebell training barehanded. Girls could go to beautification school for about $3,000 or make for about $3,000 or $5 make tons of money. Beautification. Do they have beautification school? Like finishing school? I don't think they have that. Nonstop trade, $2. Plumbers get paid to lay pipe literally and figuratively. Alex Patino, $10. If you own your own truck, transport whatever loads for $3 a mile. Let's say you manage to drive 2,700 miles a week. Let's say you get paid the bare minimum of 80%. So you take 3 times 27 equals $8,100 times 0.8. 64,800 pay, and that's per week. So what is that per year? It's good money. 65 times 52. Oh, that's like $300,000 a year. He's a truck driver. You're never home. Guys, just go make your money and have fun in life. That's what I would do. Jacob, $5. Everyone is pairing off, waiting for the economy to go down. It's only a matter of time. Communications is monitored just like everything else. Look, I'll tell you, at long term, when the welfare state goes and electricity is shut down, and fine, you get yourself a $10 million a month welfare check, but it doesn't buy anything because of hyperinflation. Girls will all of a sudden start liking guys again, and it ain't going to be the investment bankers. We will go back to square one. Can you provide for me? And can you protect me? Yes, but it's going to come at a cost. Oh, nosy, not the sex. Sex or death. Cake or death. Eddie Izzard again. It will. Sex or death. What do you want? You don't have to have sex with me. Go have sex with someone else. But if you're not going to have sex, I'm not going to take care of you. Well, come on, girl boss. Go plumb. Go dig that ditch. Go farm. No, we don't have any electricity because we had a bunch of diversity and inclusion majors in the great diversity and inclusion major epic of the past 50 years. So we don't have the electric grid up. We don't know how to farm, but we can all lecture each other about the color of our skin and the plumbing down below. So you either go plow or you have sex. Which is it? Dear God, please allow me to live long enough so that I might see that. It's only a matter of time. Communications is monitored just like everything else. Christian Martin, $10. I can't tell you how many dates I've been on, and women said I would never date a blue collar worker. It's crazy. They'd rather date a lawyer, 100,000, and they'd rather date a lawyer 100,000 debt, making 60,000, than a plumber making 100,000 with no debt. Yes, this would also require not even a tremendous, but a simple yet thorough lesson on basic finance for women, so they could assess whether a guy makes actual money, is wealthy or not. Men's sex drive for women is so strong. Women have never even had to get to the point like, well, wait, what does his finances look like? What's his credit score? They don't even have to go skin deep. They go one atom level deep of, does he have shiny pony? Does he show off money? He must have the money. The idea of sitting and saying, hey, wait a minute. What is the Bureau of Labor Statistics? What is their report on lawyers now? What does the average lawyer have in debt? Can I see your income statement? What kind of personal budget do you have? Girls don't ask that. He has a nice house in the Winnetka. He must have and he's a salesman who, he said he did $500 million in business. He makes $500 million a year. He must be a billionaire. I can see where the tradesmen and the real men of America who actually work and actually have money get kind of pissed off. I can see where you get pissed off. I would wonder what would happen to women's choices if they had a basic personal financial management course on how to assess a man's finances. Like Matt Hulse, I think, is it Matt Hulsey? Australian guy, actually very good if you ever listen to him. What if he were to add a financial component to teach women how to find rich men? They're not going to listen to me. I'm not a handsome man like he is with an Australian accent. I'm not. Maybe he could teach them. And I bet you they would, because they're like, wait a second, men lie about how much they make? He said he made $500 million a year. That's in sales, sweetheart. His commission is only 1% of that, which would still be impressive. But he has a nice house. Yeah, and he borrowed it from his parents. Here's an electrician. He actually has $250,000 in equity in the house. But he's an electrician. All right, fine. I don't care. Go out with we'll go do it. Just choose next. God, I don't care. I don't care. Alex Patino, $5 again. Numbers I provided are just the bare minimum. Some loads pay more than others, but so far $3 a mile is the standard. Just make sure you pay your taxes. Yes. This is why I want you to write a book, Alex. Alex Patino, $5. If you're a company driver, then the bare minimum is 50 cents a mile. If you could drive 2,500 miles a week, then you get paid 1,250 every Friday. That's still 65,000 a year. That's more than an engineer. That's more than a college graduated engineer. Nonstop trade, $2 smart girls. Tradesmen make great starter husbands. Is that what they're saying? Hang on. God, don't, dear Lord. Oh, by the way, also consider getting Thor's. You could just search Thor Gumroad, how to become a lineman. Let me put it in the chat room. I'll put that there. Hang on. I don't see anything. Thank God. Thank God. Rob Fogolski, $5 part of the 1099 superior race. Women care what other women think of their boyfriend. That's why they go for the investment banker, dude, broke musician who has a felony charges. I think the real world's gonna catch up with that. It's gonna catch up. The lights, look, we could keep borrowing as long as China keeps supplying us with the stuff that's needed, and we could keep this economy and our infrastructure together with twine and duct tape. As long as women don't have to suffer an actual no joke decay or collapse in one of our infrastructures, they're going to keep going after shiny pony. When all of a sudden there's no electricity, the guy who can wire the house and have electricity, girls are going to be very interested about day 3 when there's no lights. When there's no food, all of a sudden Farmer Brown, oh, he's just an old, creepy old man. Oh, you got food, Farmer Brown? Oh, gee, really swell. Farmer Brown, I got some requirements. Ew! Sex or death. Matthew Stekchak, $10, self-employed contractor, easily 20 to 30,000 a month. How long do you think I have before the young people catch on, become competition? I mean, well, what's your field? If you were like Thor, I don't think you're going to have to worry about it because being a lineman is incredibly hard work. You work in concrete, you don't have to worry about it. Truck driver, a little bit, maybe. I think it's going to be slow. Like I said, the incremental increase in people choosing STEM over liberal arts is very incremental. It's very glacially slow. And you got to look at what are young kids taught today. They're taught to be socialist, whiny, parasitic quantahas that don't work. They're taught to be Andrew Yang. They're taught by their disproportionately female elementary school teachers and education majors. Democrat, don't have to work. Democrat, give me other people's money. Oh, what do you mean? All the bull. I mean, they're brainwashed. I don't think you got to worry about tomorrow. All of a sudden, there's a ton of truck drivers taking your and Alex's job away. The Golden Eagle, 20 generous dollars. Hispanic women don't talk bad about blue-collar tradesmen for the most part. Right, because the men put the food on the table. They put the shingles on the roof. They put the food on the table. And I got to imagine probably because if they're illegal immigrants, they don't qualify as much for financial aid or welfare or whatever. Also, Hispanics tend to be a little bit poor. So, yeah, any money that's brought in. Man, that'd be interesting, Golden Eagle, to see, okay, what Hispanic women don't complain about the tradesmen. Do black women complain about black tradesmen? Well, yeah, they complain about all black men. Funny is because it's true. And then the white gal's like, he only went to Yale and not Harvard, and he only has a master's degree, and he only makes $300,000 a year. I just, we'll all just form this club where we drink beer, make money, and fix houses. How you doing? Oh, good. Nick Crocodilis. But yeah, I don't. I guess because their men are working in the trades. Nick Crocodilis, €2. Crazy how they'd rather date criminals than a BCW. What's a BCW? Is that a tradesman? Golden Eagle again, 20 generous dollars. Get rid of Yeti Troll. You need some hammers in the chat. I'll go back. We'll get rid of them. Lincoln with Naz, $5. My wife left me for her 25-year-old factory supervisor because everyone was saying she was too pretty for me. Minimum wage earner. Why are you minimum? Well, I mean, are you young? Okay, I got a lot of questions, Naz. Why are you married? Which I understand if you're like 40. I can't tell you look like a young guy, but you could be just a younger looking guy who's 40. And in the olden days, you got married because that's what you did. Why'd you get married? And why you only earning minimum wage by this time? That's what I would say. I think that's it. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Let's go to super chats. Did I get them all? Oh, no, a couple more. Thomas Rob, $5. Can't get enough of these washed up House of Cards, dude, bro, bidness, and the clueless women. Law of diminishing returns don't apply to these tales. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see when, because of ignorance. I'm being perfectly honest, ladies. Your ignorance about financial planning blinds you to whether these are good men or not. I'm trying to help you. And they will always go with shiny pony. And these guys, like, look at Donald Trump. I know a lot of you. Donald Trump is a perfect example of that. He came from relative wealth, and all he did was borrow money and hope that property prices went up. I mean, there was more to it than that, but that was it. Sometimes he was a billionaire, depending on asset prices. Sometimes he was insolvent. And then if the economy gets too bad for too long, or interest rates are too high, these guys get flooded out. And then there's Monica, like, wow, just like they live 10 years on this House of Cards, and they think they're Queen Bee, and they got the house on Lake Michigan, and they got a house up in wherever, the Hamptons, and then it all comes crashing down. And then that's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Javier Burgess, 200 Argentinian pesos, the Libertarian one. Yep, this week. Lincoln with Nas, $2. I earned 6 figures. He was a minimum age Warner. Must have had a big dick. He might look tattoos. All right. There is physical attraction. That's number one. And you're a good looking guy, Nas. You're a good looking guy. Not gay, but you seem like be a good looking guy. But this guy had to be better looking than you, or more jacked and bad boy. That the only thing that makes a woman hotter than a guy that's an investment banker is the guy who's the felon. Okay. So I'm guessing he was T-Rash, factory worker, minimum wage. Right. Sounds right. Okay. Does he have tattoos? Is he jacked and ripped? There you go. They'll take that. A not so close yet not so distant second is the money, is the stability, in part legitimately. Like, hey, do you make money? Do you support yourself? But then there's also more the gold digging aspect where it's like, ooh, money and free. But I wouldn't worry about it. I know it's hard to say because you were married, but that was a bad person. I mean, think about it. She left you for that guy. Probably good you got rid of her by this time. But yeah, I'm going to guess he's look up T-Rash or Pookie and Ray Ray or whoever the hell it was. I mean, guarantee you he is jacked. He has tattoos, probably has a gold chain, hat on back. Where I'm picturing a white guy, the white T-Rash. But that's what I'm picturing. And fine, let her go. I just hope there weren't any kids involved. I'm 36, she's 30, she Brazilian. Oh God, geez, Nash. This exactly happened to a friend of mine, and his wife was from Brazil. She's a male. Is it at the 4-year mark? Does she have her citizenship? That's it. You were used. I can't guarantee it, but I'm 98% sure she never liked you that much anyway. That's what it was. That happens. Jess, $10. A gal. What's a gal? Who let Atham? You're letting the women in. God darn it. $10. Do men have big egos? It feels like it's hard to date because of it. I'm muscular, 5'5" and 119 pounds. Do men have big egos? It feels like it's hard to date because of it. Jess, I mean, if that's you, you're an exceptionally attractive gal. You're in shape. I bet you're going after the top guys. And the top guys, I don't know if it's ego, though there certainly would be ego in these top tier men, but they're confident. I'm gonna guess the way you look, you ain't going after, schmo the. You're not going after plumbers. You're probably going after investment bankers. You're probably going after executive types. You're probably maybe even athletes. I mean, you're very good looking. And these guys, certainly there's egos, but I think it's also confidence. And I don't know if I've never seen you before, and maybe you're new to this, and maybe you're searching for some answers, but let's go through real quick. This is all known in our little sphere of the internet here, but this is something that women have to know. Because the market is lopsided, it's very skewed. You have the majority of women going after a minority of men, and they are not interested in the majority of men. So you have 80% of the women. You can look at data on the men that women find attractive. Women only find 20% of the male population attractive, and you won't date the 80%. Right? So not all, but the majority of you are targeting the 20%. These guys are flooded with pretty girls like you hitting them up all the time. And you're good looking, don't get me wrong. And you could be an engineer and all that, but there's something a guy wants more than a beautiful gal like you who's an engineer who could have her finances together, and you can have a car and a house bought and paid for. You could vote libertarian. You could be the world's greatest woman. The only thing a guy wants more is more women. And they can get it because there's so many women flooding those guys. And the only advice I'd have for you is you try to find the diamond in the rough. I always try to look at girls like, well, what if she put her hair down? Kind of find the nerdy, mousy girl with her glasses and all that. And like, my rule, what would she look like in a French maid outfit? You'd be like, okay, that's pretty hot. And usually you find some gals that like, they're kind of hidden in the corner. You got to kind of do the same thing with guys. You got to find a guy who, all right, he's got a sweatshirt on, and he got his nerdy glasses on, and he's studying, or he's an engineer or whatever. But see if you can't look past the Armor All or whatever the hell brand name stuff guys wear. All right. Look past the suit, look past his car. Look at the guy. Like, oh, could I, if you prettied him up, if you say, get a haircut, shave, put on the suit, what would he look like? And then I would to find him physically attractive, because then you're going to have to find him physically attractive, step one. And then you got to ask, number two thing is, what is your career? Not because of how much money he makes, but what kind of career is it? Engineers are probably the best. Accountants and engineers, they're probably the best because they're hardest working and probably the most honest. You're going after corporate executives, whatever, athletes, drug dealers. They're not stable men. So all you girls got to do is turn it down one full point. Stop chasing after 9s, go after 8s. If you're an 8, stop chasing after 8s, go after a 7. And then you might find a guy. I have guys, mostly white guy. I got a couple black dudes. Hey, Dre, what about her? He's out in the Middle East now, but I could set you up with some good men. But for all the times I've tried doing it, it doesn't. Love for all, $10. Met a woman that does OnlyFans, travel nurse, and down to fuck. She's 25 and seems malleable to a degree. She says she'd quit if her man made more than no. Doubt it would last long term, but I may hit this weekend. Oh yeah, have sex with her, sure. No. She got a nursing degree. She's doing OnlyFans. She could support herself. Look, and I bet if she votes Democrat, not to bring politics into it, she votes to take away 40% of your income. That right there is like, no, I would never marry or commit to a Democrat, because I'm like, look, you need my help or we're going to be together. You're not stabbing me in the back and making me poorer. It's just not happening. And here she is. He better make more than me, then I'll come. Get the fuck out of here. Just get the fuck out of here. I mean, have sex, but don't commit. Don't commit. Lincoln with Naz, $2. He is jacked in. There we go. Naz, I do mean this, man. I am terribly sorry for this misfortune. The only advice I can give you is, one, this is not your fault. Two, she had no intention of sticking with you long term. Three, this is a bad person that you should be thankful is out of your life. And four, even though you obviously had emotions and feelings for her, in due time, you will find out that this was probably the best thing to happen to you. And please, look, I'm for passport bros. I'm for you going all overseas to find yourself traditional quality women. You have to make sure the quality, and mostly you can't bring them back here. You can't bring them back here because there's a lot of scams out there. There is. He is jacked and aggressive with others, brags about it. There you go. I date Jess. Who's Jess? Oh yeah, yeah, she's good looking gal. Yeah, no doubt. If that's her. Javier Burgess, 20 Argentinian. I'm a 6.66 sign of the devil. All right. Uh, all right. Let me take a look. Is that all? That's all the super chats. There you guys go. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Link below. A World Without Men. I go through what a world without men would look like because we account for, on average, 97% of the tradesmen. If you want to see what a shithole would look like, and it will be sex or death. It will be. And I think it would be important for you to read that so you understand the layout and the dynamics between men and women going forward. We're not going to live in a post-apocalyptic world tomorrow, but we're going to start to decay that way because we're already kind of there. So please take a look at that book. Consider getting Thor's course, How to Become a Power Lineman. It's available on Gumroad. I don't know if you want to make $250,000 a year. And that's about it. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.